Major League Esports Super Late Model Series tonight, Iowa Motor Speedway. Only a few more races to make the, till the championship round here. There is no chase. It is Super Late Models after all on the American Sim Network. I'm Matt Egan, joined tonight by Dylan Ackhart.
Oh man, hello everyone that tuned in. You guys are definitely here for a very, very exciting night. I love Iowa. I love when NASCAR goes to Iowa. I can't wait to see what these boys do, especially we have 100 laps here. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. This is going to be very exciting. And, you know, this is one of the biggest tracks we're actually going to this season. This is actually one of the, like I said, biggest tracks we're going to. This in Richmond, really, because we've seen, like, really narrow kind of short tracks that we've been to. And the racing there is a lot different than what you're going to see at Iowa, because these cars are going to be able to go a whole lot faster. Now, here's a driver that's had some bad luck really recently, Adam Yoslin, and now he's back towards the front of the field.
And right now the times are still coming in as we do have 10 minutes of open qualifying. So these guys can go out there, do one lap. If they don't like how that one lap is, they can go out and do another one. Maybe come down and change a little bit of setup. But most definitely this is the biggest track we go to. It's the best multiple lanes of racing because we have three, maybe if you really want to push it, 4 lanes of racing where you can actually go on and race without being overly slow. You know, we see when NASCAR Xfinity Series comes here, they kind of do the low lane in 1 and 2 and kind of the high lane in 3 and 4 to avoid the bumps and the exit of 4. So you kind of see that all lanes of the track is being used. So this is definitely going to be interesting how the super late models are going to work, especially with the tire road we've been seeing without the past season.
Is this track longer than Richmond? I didn't know that. I thought Richmond was long. I guess not. But yeah, definitely you're going to see multi-lane racing with these cars, which will definitely be interesting because what we've seen this season, especially from the tracks we've been at, these narrow short tracks has really been only this, single groove. This is where you drive the car. You're not going to have a good race, kind of racing. I think that's interesting to see that we're finally opening up to a bigger kind of racing. Unfortunately, unless Dylan, I can get you set up properly with OBS, or unless you've got that already set up to stream on YouTube, we will not be covering the next 2 weeks. I'll be away next week for a marching band event in Washington, D.C., and then the week after that, I'm going to be in Delaware. So you got YouTube streaming set up, right?
I do have some of the stuff. I don't have it all, but I do have some.
I'll send you the overlays and stuff. We'll work that out. So hopefully we'll be able to continue to provide you the coverage of the next 2 weeks. But rest assured, the championship battle will be covered by us. There is no doubt in our minds about that or our ability to cover that. But unfortunately, it is very possible that the next 2 weeks will go uncovered. Moving on from that, right now, James Curl, fastest on the racetrack. Right now you're looking at Mike Mahoney, that number 38 breast cancer awareness car. He's currently sitting 7th. Not too bad himself. I think this is the biggest field we've seen all season. 18 cars. -1 at the moment. That would be Ryan Lang. Or not Ryan Lang. Ryan Lang. Or no, he's the admin that races. It confuses me. Some of the admins here don't race. Some of them do, and then others are just, sometimes they're not. I don't know. Sometimes drivers show up and don't actually race, but yeah.
But the funny difference is that Iowa is actually bigger than Richmond, which we already came over, but the layout of the track is completely different. You can kind of see these cars really push it in to the entries of the corners. Unlike Richmond, you can really kind of see them back your corners up at Richmond. This track, and with these cars, you really kind of push it in there. So it's going to be a different racing format of Richmond. Plus, Richmond is a 7/8, a 0.75 mile track, unlike Iowa, which is a 7/8. So it's a tiny bit bigger, but the layout is completely different.
Yeah, see, to me, Richmond always feels like a longer racetrack, and Iowa kind of feels shorter to me, but very much wider. And I just find that interesting how you can get that kind of different perspective from really driving two different tracks, but yet one can feel different than it actually is. I just always find that interesting.
It's very interesting seeing how all these cars come out, and we kind of see throughout the season how dominant some of these drivers are. And look at where they are right now. You have Adam in that number 83. He's currently qualified third. Who's in first right now? You have the 61 of James Call. If I said that wrong, my apologies. But you have James Call right there in P1. So, you know, it's a little bit of a mix-up.
Then you have James Babb currently in second. So James and James show rounding out or leading our front row at the moment. We'll see if that stays true. I believe it will. I think everyone's kind of put their lap in, and the drivers that haven't right now are just kind of going around this track just for some extra practice laps. As always, competition caution on lap 50. Break up this race basically into stages, but without the stage points, which I'm actually in favor of. But yeah, so competition yellow on lap 50. Current point standings, Adam Yoslin, well, he leads by only 5 points over Ryan Lang, who right now is yet to set a time, but he's currently sitting 16th on the board. The next two races this season, unfortunately, two of my favorite tracks, Bullring and USA. I won't be able to broadcast, so like I said, I really hope we can get you set up to do that. But yeah, I wish I was there. But yeah, round 12, June 11th, we'll be at the Richmond Motor Speedway. Actually, I might be able to do USA. I might have a little way to do that from the hotel room. That would be interesting. Now, wouldn't it?
Very, very interesting. You know, we kind of fly around all the time, going to different tracks and whatnot. You know, this is kind of our first race of the new week. You know, we came home from last week, which was kind of all over the place. Then we kind of had a great little break, and then we come back to Iowa. So it's a big different traveling thing. So it definitely would be interesting if you could get your get the computer and the setup up in the hotel room.
I might actually be able to. Not my computer, but I might have a plan. I don't know how well it'll work, but we're going to try this. Now, tomorrow, we're heading to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for ISDC's Indy 500. And then after that, it's down to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Anarchy Motorsports Series All-Star Race. So another week of us track hopping, as I like to call it, going from Iowa to Indy to Charlotte. And yeah, that rounds out our week. Crazy week that'll be. I'm looking forward to all these races. We're kicking off the week again tonight here at Iowa, and it'll be a great show. And then I think the Indy cars will be really exciting. Of course, an all-star race, well, it's just an excuse to drive fast, you know?
Most definitely. But right now, we got to get these Super Late Miles done because we have some very fast times on the board. Right now, we have all drivers but two that have qualified in a 22 something. So most definitely very tight pack of cars right here, which is gonna definitely be interesting because you usually kind of see a little bit of a pack at the beginning, and once the stickers fall off, and then you kind of get slowed down and kind of get into your groove. So definitely will be interesting how everything is gonna work out when you definitely do have the pack in that first 5-10 laps.
Yeah. Now take a look at the top 10 here, and this is what I find interesting: the gap separating first from 10th, and Russell Eiler picking up a top 10 start tonight. It will be a total of 0.467. That is an incredibly close, incredibly close distance between the two cars. Then if you look at just the top 5, you're looking at only a 0.307 gap. So these guys effectively are under a blanket tonight in qualifying. I feel like that's going to make for a really great showing in the race. James Curl, once again, mentioning he does have the pole for the evening.
Yeah, those laps are unreal of how tight they are, because you're definitely gonna be in a pack. You know you're gonna go into this race knowing you're gonna be kind of next to somebody and really kind of be getting there. But the bigger question is, how is 5 laps? How am I tires gonna be? Because we have 50 laps without any cautions before we know there's a guaranteed caution. So is it, do I push my equipment? Do I push? Do I be easy? And then do I go back? Like, it really all depends on how you go around and set up your car. Because right now we got cars rolling out on the pit road.
As we do, cars getting ready to roll out. Starting lineup tonight, a little bit different, presented by Elliott Henderson Graphics. Dylan, how about you take us through that amazing starting grid we got tonight?
Oh boy, we got that number 51 and 41 of James Cole and 41 of James Bubb. Then we got the 83 of Adam, and then we got the number 23 of Jonathan Smith. In the third row, we got AJ Riggers. Again, if I say any of the names, my apologies. I have a little bit of an issue with the last names.
That's AJ Rogers, I would believe.
And then we have the number 67 of Colin Allman. Going to the next row, we got Brian Hacker, and then Mike Mahoney in that number 38. James T in that 25, and then we got Russell Eiler in that 65. Dan Butler and Carl Lahr in that 21 and 4. Scott R. Andrew 2 and Bryant Walmart.
I think that's Wilmot.
Is that Wilmot?
Wilmot? I'm going to go with Wilmot.
And we got Douglas Wasaki in that number 45, and that will be all drivers that have put a time on the board. 15 drivers.
And you got Joshua Hart, Ryan Lang, Gerald Wheeler, and that rounds out the field. Douglas Wasaki, only driver tonight actually not to take the starting grid, so that'll be interesting. And actually, yeah, I think that's actually quite interesting. Really, Adam Yoslin, that's 15th place then.
As of course, we do have the top. We got a lot of drivers getting a penalty, getting an EOL penalty, which is going to be Brian Walbart, James Carr, Jonathan Hurt, Colin Allman, and we also have Ryan Lange. Well,
that would explain why the pole sitter isn't at the front of the field. I was going to say, wait a minute. See Adam up there on the front row now after that. But, yeah, that's interesting as we get ready to take the green flag for 100 laps of action here at Iowa. I believe it's 2 laps to green.
As the pace car is going to come down, the fans are on their feet. As the green flag is waving, green flag is out once again. 100 laps at Iowa Motor Speedway.
Good start for Adam Yoslin right there. He got right out of the gate, down through turns 2. It's going to be side by side all the way through. And look at that, James Babb on the outside. He'll fall into line there. And you got AJ Rogers, Brian Hacker. I think he's new here. That number 11 car, at least new tonight. I have not seen him all season. Jonathan Smith on that outside line. Hey, how about that? Russell Eiler actually making the outside work. He moved up a spot. He started in 10th. He's up to 9th, although only 2 laps into this race. And we're 3 wide. We're 3 wide for a second there. Maybe this track being as wide as it is, Russell might not get into the wall tonight.
3 wide in the far back. But look at the one driver that's really kind of impressed me, making all lanes of the track work. Look at Mike Mahoney in at number 38. He started the race up in the high lane in 8th. Really kind of pushed his nose there, kind of got a little dirty. And right now I'm sitting in 5th. So he's definitely making a charge to the front.
Well, speaking of making a charge to the front, driver who got EOL starting dead last, that's James Curl. And look at him, he's already up into the top 10. And is about to go 3 wide for, well, what should turn into 8th place if he makes it stick.
That backpack is so scary, being that backpack, because look at how tight they are. They are literally on each other's bumpers going to this corner. As that 51 of James Call is just pushed the car just a tiny bit. Maybe got a little bit of contact into Andrew, but I don't think it was.
Oh, God,
much,
car
but-
in the wall. That's Charles Lar. Wow, that guy he took it hard there. Meanwhile,
Unlike the tracks we've been at this whole season, you know what these cars produce at this one track and maybe
something
a few
called
other tracks?
downforce?
Well, you have that. You also have draft.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They are actually reaching speeds fast enough.
They are making just enough draft to make a difference. So if you have damage in your front fender, your aerodynamics are gone. Because this is
you're
kind of
right.
like a sort of speedway to them. To these
Yeah, you're
cars,
right.
to a point.
You're right. It's big enough and we're getting enough speed in these things. Yeah, you are right about that. And look at James Babb still controlling this field. He's led he's led 4 laps. 2 laps were led by Adam. And I got to say, good turnaround for Adam. We've seen him in the last few weeks. He's been struggling. Again, we call back to his wild ride at New Smyrna. But looks like this is his turnaround he's needed.
Yeah, right now, look at that bottom lane of those top 3 guys. You have
almost contact.
James gonna go on the high side, and Adam's gonna go on the inside. Maybe no, not yet. But right now, James is saving his tires, as you can tell, as he's pushing the car up the track just a tiny bit, not pinching it down that yellow lane and eating your tires up, as you see everyone else doing. So maybe right now, James is saying, okay, I control what this line does, I control what you guys do behind me, and we're gonna save it. And right now, there's a train right now from 1st on to 7th, all pretty much right there, going 3 wide into turn number 1.
3 wide, that's for the lead. And got a car almost around. That's the 17. He'll hold on to it. That bottles up everyone behind him. Now, a driver that's not having a good night, last week's 3rd place finisher, that's Colin Allman. You know, he finished 3rd at 5 flags, right now running in 11th. Tough night for him, although we're only 11 laps in.
Oh my goodness, that whole lap, I was on my feet watching that. Wow.
That's
We
amazing.
got the leader of James of that 51 is now back to 6 for one missing that corner entry by probably 1 or 2 miles per hour. Made that car push, checked up, hit the inside lane, and everyone else just got by him. That's wow. Someone else that just had a lot of contact going in and on the front straightaway was Brian Hacker, as he goes around and slams that inside wall exit of forward.
So I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, car around. He'll hold it.
3 wide going back into 1. Oh,
How did
it's
he
so
not?
scary. Got a lot of contact going on right now. Colin Altman, our pretty much dominant racer of the last few weeks, just got a little bit of a bump on the bumper, got that car loose, but thankfully he was able to save it.
I thought we were gonna see Taranasco go around there. That looked badly. That looked bad. Mike Mahoney moves up to 2nd in all this chaos. And how about James Curl? He'll go up to it's a battle for 2nd now. That Corvette looking mighty fast.
Right now, we do have the number 4 of Charles Lard, who has came down pit road and went straight into the garage.
First retiree of the night. Tough night for Charles Lar. Very tough night. But how about Jonathan Smith? You know, you got Chevy versus Chevy behind him, and then you got a Ford then, and it's Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and Mopar leading the way right now.
Look at who's being so dominant right now. You have Mike Mahoney right now in that number 38. And I talked about him before. He started 8th. He's able to work his way through this pack, which is the hardest thing to do in the Super Late Model. You just want to keep your momentum up. If you slow down at all and you lose your momentum and you kind of lose your how to enter your corners and how to get through your corners and whatnot, you really just get kind of bit. And right now he's doing a great job keeping his eye on track and really keeping to know how to make these passes. Right now he's sitting at 3rd, right behind James Card at number 51. So But right now, the main show right now is Jonathan Smith with a 1.1 second gap between him and second place. So, is the gap going to only get bigger or is it going to get smaller?
I think that gap's going to get smaller. James Curl running an amazing race right now. You mentioned Mike Mahoney being able to drive through the field. Well, yeah, he drove up from 8th, but James Curl, unfortunately, somehow got an EOL penalty. And, well, he drove from the very rear of the field. So I want to say he's a bit more dominant. Meanwhile, see that 25 of Jason Ternesco. I believe that's how you say it. He got up into the outside wall there, if you saw that.
Look who's coming up through the rear of the field.
Here?
And that's Carl Allman. Number 67 machine has a little bit of rough right rear corner panel. But right now, he's kind of pushing it to a little bit of the limit. And kind of is now just making passes. Just like kind of like the drivers were a fly in the wall to him as he goes on and just flies by him. Really just doesn't even look they're pushing that hard as they're just kind of relaxing, taking it easy.
Yeah, that's true. And looking back towards the field, how about James Babb? We saw him lead the 7 laps tonight. I don't know what happened, but he got really shuffled back. I mean, you see that. He went from the lead to 12th. He fell very, very far back.
Battle for second. As right now you have Jonathan Hurt and James Carr right there side by side on the exit of 2. Really kind of pushing their machines to the limit as Jonathan Smith is just passing away and just leaving them in the dust. A little bit of a push out of James as you kind of see the car wiggle a tiny bit. Right now they're still side by side, really getting in that turn 1 a little hard as you look at that run that 51's getting. Got just a tiny bit of
that 51's got side damage. I don't know if you see that or not, but I'm noticing an awful lot of damage to that 51 car's nose.
Ooh, he's so loose on the exit as you can see his car wiggle.
It's got to be affecting his aero. But you see it too, right?
Yes, I see it. As right now we have a car spun, and that's the number 18 of Brian Walbart.
I think he got in with Scott Austin because they're both down pit lane.
Looking back, he just pushed on the exit of 4, got a little loose in the middle of 4, and just chased it up the hill, and unfortunately got right on and hit the wall as the team is pushing his car back to the hallway, calling it a net. Same as Scott Austin too.
That wasn't exactly a self-inflicted. He did get into the back end of Jocelyn there, so that may have upset his car a bit. And wow, that was just a hard hit to that inside barrier. Probably knocked the engine out of it. And yeah, you mentioned 2 more drivers packing it up and heading home early. Meanwhile, Russell Eiler, now the last car in the field, last car in the lead lap as well. Well, he has just a little bit of wheel damage, and he's battling with Gerald Wheeler right now. That would be for that 13th spot. And right now, the 999 Mercedes-Benz pulling a good show.
You know, those 2 drivers right there, they've been having a very difficult time all season long, not having the fastest equipment, but yet they're always able to bring it home in a good finish. So,
yeah,
you know, the hardest thing about a track like this is that you really got to have the speed to kind of hopefully you don't get lapped down too many times.
James Curl in pit lane.
Ooh.
Looks like he's packing it up, actually.
He has just
something.
The team is pushing his car behind the wall too. What's going on here?
These cars are getting dangerously loose. That is my only guess.
The hardest thing is that these cars are not very. They're not very strong. And when I say strong, I mean as in body panels. If they hit the wall, of course, any car hits the wall, it's gonna crumple and kind of push the body into it. But it definitely does a lot more damage to your chassis system. So if you're turning your wheel a little bit more to the left and or right, you're kind of really just kind of really just killing yourself more because you're just burning your tire off.
Interesting enough, James Curl did not get in a wreck with anyone. He brought that thing down pit lane on his own will. I don't know why he retired. That car wasn't that tore up. I guess that puts Joshua Hart and Jonathan Smith now, the two cars battling for that race lead. Great performance out of that 23 Dodge Challenger. He's led 20 laps tonight. Joshua Hart now leading his second. Joshua, well, he started back in 16th. He's having a very, very good night, I'd say, now that he's gone to the lead.
All right, now you got those. You got battle for first. You also battle for fifth between Adam and Mike. So they're really getting at it a little bit. There was a little bit of there was a lot of damage to the side of Mike's car, but you know, I think by the end of this night, if you don't have any damage to your right-hand side of your car, then you didn't do this right. Because there's a lot of these cars out there that already have a lot of damage, which isn't good because we still have over 70-ish, 67-ish laps to go. So if you get the damage now, you know, you kind of get a one free pass, like push the panel in, and then the second time you get the damage, and then it gets into your chassis. So oh no! Contact Adam and Mike.
First caution of the night. Mike Mahoney, that number 38 breast cancer awareness car, he's around.
Oh, that was a very interesting change of events.
Just,
the big question is,
that's not. I was gonna say it's not gonna be the competition yellow. I don't think it's close enough.
Oh, it's definitely not gonna be the competition, as we still have about 24 laps until the competition. So.
We'll be right back here on the American Sim Network. Joshua Hart, your leader from Iowa.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Coming back live, getting ready to go green for some more super late model action here at the beautiful Iowa Motor Speedway. Look at these cars. They are 2x2. Line them up. Dylan Eckhart calls the green flag.
Man, look at this front. Look at the leader right there. You have Jonathan Hart and Jonathan Smith, who are both been very fast, and look who's sitting in fourth right now. Is this going to be a change-up? Because you have Colin Allman, who has damage on the right-hand side, but yet doesn't look like he slowed any of his car down. As everyone did go down pit road to go get fresh tires and maybe a little bit of gasoline. The pace car is in pit road. Green flag's off. Beautiful start by Jonathan Hart in that number 95.
Great start by Hart. Coming off turn number 2. Look at these guys. They rocket by as they come up to speed here at Iowa. Great run down into turn 3 and 4. And you see Jonathan Smith. He's trying his best to get to the back end. And Brian Hacker will move up to third.
Brian Hacker and Colin Allman battling for that third position, which we usually don't see anyone battling for position, but it's definitely going to be interesting watching him battle Colin, because Colin's I won't say the powerhouse, but he definitely has a lot of speed that comes to the track each week, so it's definitely interesting seeing Brian Hacker trying to kind of battle him for that.
Looking back towards the field, you see James Babb. He's trying to recover some of what he's lost tonight. Remember, he did lead early on. He's trying to get back towards the front of the field. Ryan Lang trying to as well. Now, Ryan Lang, Adam Yoslin in a very tight points battle, only by 5 points different. And, well, right now, Ryan Lang is leading that battle, but only by 1 spot. So, this will be interesting between these two.
Yeah, Colin Allman leading, I would call it the second pack, because right now you have Joshua Hart and Jonathan Smith right now kind of in their own little planet. And then you have the second battle, which is Colin Allman all the way down to the 21 of Dan Butler, all kind of right there in a pack. So, this is definitely going to be interesting if they can kind of form up and maybe kind of, I want to say bump draft, but I would definitely say maybe push each other a little bit to catch up to those leaders.
And look at that, they went close to 3 wide there. Adam Yoslin, Ryan Lang, they're still side by side. You know they're going to be battling hard. And you mentioned them trying to kind of team up to catch the leaders. I don't think we're going to see that when they're, again, 5 points out of 5 points away from each other in a battle. Meanwhile, Jonathan.
Oh, no. Ooh, Jason, save it.
Oh, I'd call that kind of a save. He kept it off the wall.
I mean, as long as he didn't hit the wall, I would say
it's a save. He's got to get going. He's got to get going. Is he going to try to stop and bring out a yellow? No. If he can keep it on the lead lap, he'll be all right. It's only about 5 laps till the competition. Just got to get that thing up to speed and stay on the lead lap, and you'll be all right, Jason. You'll be able to put some fresh Eagles on it, or Cruiser tires, actually.
That's scary because he definitely went around, and that was a very scary slide, because once you kind of start sliding through the grass, it doesn't kind of slow you down. It kind of just lets you keep going and kind of keep cutting the grass like a lawnmower cutting grass. So
these guys don't really have splitters, so.
Well, that's a good thing. Something like that, you would have seen a lot more damage out of that race car, but thankfully he doesn't have that much. But most definitely very scary for him.
Well, I think he'll be able to stay on the lead lap here.
Now, I wish we could get a camera set up right on the exit of 4, because every time there's a lot of cars getting so close to that wall. We kind of see NASCAR when they come here, they get really close to it, but these guys are really pushing that exit 4 from the turn to the straightaway, to the front straightaway. They're really kind of pushing it against that wall, and that lane always the cleanest.
Well, we've got a camera set up on the middle of the front stretch by start finish line. We could probably move it down under caution. Get the camera guy to move down so we can have that out of 4 camera.
Three wide battle.
Caution. There's the competition.
Caution. Competition yellow. That was a good time for that caution to be thrown. Because right now you had AJ and Ryan, who are pretty much for the door, kind of pushing each other too wide on the exit 2 when that caution, the competition caution through. So that was a good saving for both of those drivers.
Yeah, well, I mean, can you blame them for racing so hard, though? You've got,
No, you only have
4
50
weeks
laps
left.
It's that you also only have 50 laps to go.
Yeah,
You know,
that
Iowa,
too.
Iowa, you're only doing, as we're looking right now, the fastest lap time on the track was a 23.5. So you really are pushing your car to every limit.
And Joshua Hart, once again, leading them down. We'll be right back. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at the Iowa Motor Speedway. It'll be 45 laps left tonight, and what a race it has been so far. You see these cars getting ready to come off turn number 4 as we'll watch from the start-finish line. Here they come now. Pace car going to duck on in any moment. See the 12 cars left roar to life. Here it goes. Pace car down. And green flag is out. We're racing from Iowa.
Look at that. Look at who's leading this race right now. Yeah, Brian Hacker, who qualified 7th, is now leading this thing right next to Colin Allman in 2nd. But look who kind of really changed things up a little bit. Was Ryan Log in that number 31 as he's kind of joined the mix-up for that front pack.
Yeah, Ryan Lang doing his best to get away from that 83 car of Adam Yoslin, who, oh, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned it enough, is the points leader by only 5 points, and there's 1 car separating them. Man, this is going to be good. If this comes down to these 2 guys battling for this win, I think this is going to be one of the best races we're going to see all season.
We got a pack of 6 really pushing each other going into the corners, really just kind of just pushing each other. As look at that run by that 31 of Ryan Lang. Really just makes that nice pass on Jonathan Smith.
3 wide for a moment. Yes, 3 wide. Here comes Adam Yoslin to the middle. Almost 4 wide. Look at Joshua Hart. This track is wide enough. I don't know if these drivers oh, that was risky.
Easy, boys. We still got 42 to go. And
they don't care, though.
We're going.
They're racing like it's the final one. I both really like and really don't like that. I love it because these guys racing so hard, but it makes me nervous when they get 4 wide of this track because it looks like they're going to try to wreck each other, don't you know?
All right, now, that number 95 of Joshua Hart is just, he's kind of really, he's playing with the guy behind him as they're pretty much pushing each other down that straightaway. You know, they're all, I would say they're in bump drafting range. They are pretty much just bump drafting each other.
And they're still in that massive pack. And well, you know who must be loving that right about now?
Oh, Colin Allman?
I was going to say Brian Hacker. Colin Allman's in that pack.
Right now, he's controlling that pack, though, which is a good thing. If they're controlling that pack, they can really kind of
Hacker's pulling away.
Where to go.
Side by side, Chevy versus Toyota now. We got a Ford leading the show. Ooh, almost some contact.
That pinch, that low lane pinching, we usually see that a lot at places. Caution is out.
That'll be, I believe, Russell Eiler. Oh, no, yeah. James Babb, Jason Ternesco.
Ooh, a lot of cars stopped.
Yeah, we're going to get an instant replay look here. And utilize multiple views, try to figure out what may have gone wrong. Looks like Babb and, Babb spun out. He hit the 17. And Eiler kind of got involved. We're going to get a 10-second rewind there. We're going to watch from the pit lane camera. Which isn't really a pit lane camera, I should say, or start-finish line camera. See him coming off 4 there. Start spinning. Man, I feel bad for Russell. He checked up and just really nowhere he could have gone at that point.
Yeah, the big thing is that when you lock those tires up, you know, he just got the car just spun it underneath him, that's the hard thing is that you don't build your setups to automatically stop on a dime when you see cars flying, because you usually don't expect that. So unfortunately he just spun it. Thankfully he didn't hit anything major, so hopefully she didn't have much damage, but
gonna go in car.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
Gonna go in car with Jason coming around to the backstretch, kind of see what really led up to this crash. You know, I think he just kind of got loose on from there, as it were. You see, he got good into turn. I'd say he got a good run into 3, and then just kind of, the 41 lost in front of him, spun back into him. Nothing he could have done. You see Russell just kind of clip his back end. Unfortunate night for all of those drivers as they're now all on pit lane. Everyone else taking 4 tires and fuel. We'll head to another quick little break. Dan Butler, new leader here at Iowa Motor Speedway.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Coming back, whoa, loving the voice crack. Coming back green here at the beautiful Iowa Speedway. 31 laps to go on the restart. Pace car in. Green flag is out. Dan Butler, you see on old tires, this is going to be a little bit hard. Yeah, he won't be able to hold that lead. That'll be Colin Allman now to take over the leads in 2x2, almost 3 wide there. That would be Brian Hacker. You know, he was leading this earlier. He's trying to get back to the lead right now. Stuck with Dan. Now he's forced into a 3 wide. Oh, contact. Big crash. Wow, they all kind of save it, actually. And nope. Wow, those 3 cars destroyed. Russell Eiler involved in that one as well. That is a result of old tires. See, it was just contact on the backstretch, and then just getting in there, it's forced 3 wide. And
it was a 3 wide situation that just went wrong. It was
That was,
just,
it was kind of forced up there, and it was just very slight contact, really what it was. And the 23 couldn't really save it. That took out him, the 21, and I see Russell Eiler again also involved in that mess. And that must be a tough night for all those drivers, especially Brian Hacker. He was having such a good run. If only he didn't pit. Try to get contact on him.
Russell Eiler spinning under yellow.
Brian, have you got a copy?
AJ.
Trying to get contact on Brian Hacker here. We see he is here. His guy's mic muted. Unfortunately, we do not seem to be able to reach Brian, so try to interview him later, but I don't imagine him to be very happy. He just kind of got put into a bad situation. Meanwhile, one driver, though, that may like this is Colin Allman. He'll be able to lead a few more laps. Current cars left in the field: John Smith, Russell Eiler, Brian Hacker. Well, Hacker, his night's over. Say the 25-2. Ryan Lang, Gerald Wheeler, AJ Rogers, Dan Butler, Adam Yoslin, Joshua Hart, and Colin Allman are the drivers that, well, remain on the racetrack at the moment. Hate to say it, but I think, unfortunately, most of the drivers involved in that last crash are, well, their nights are done. We'll be right back here on the American Sim Network. Actually, no, we won't, because I see Brian has unmuted his mic. Brian, have you got a copy on us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, what happened there from your perspective? We saw you got kind of forced into that 3-wide situation, made slight contact with the 21.
Yeah, I don't know if that was my fault, but the 21, I don't know if he pitted or only took 2 tires or what it was, but we were all way faster than him. I was just trying not to lose 5 spots, so I apologize if it was my fault. I don't know if it was, but, you know, looks like it tore up a bunch of guys.
Yeah, he did stay out on old tires there, but now that blew your motor. How was that 11 car handling before that point, as it unfortunately took a bad turn?
It was pretty fast. I was a little disappointed to see that yellow come out there. It was 65 in or so. I was starting to run away from him for a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm getting faster and faster every week, so it's all right.
All right, and finally, before we let you go here, what do you think, or what do you think if you had stayed out under that last caution, you think you would be in the same situation, or something differently would have played out?
You know, if I would have stayed out, I probably would have been in the same situation that the 21 car was in, getting passed by all the guys that took 4 tires. So if I had to do it all over again, I'd have done the same thing.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, and we wish you better luck next week. Unfortunate night for Brian Hacker, ladies and gentlemen. He had a very good night going for him, and it just went south. 1 lap to green here. Dylan, would you like to call it?
Oh, sure. We got 8 cars on the track right now. This is going to be interesting because we got the whole field that we got about half the field gone because of how demanding this track is. So it's definitely going to be interesting with the final 25 laps how everything's going to work out.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very close race because you got a lot of fast cars left in this field. Fortunately, a good number of them were taken out, but see what happens with the field we got left. You know, Kyle Norman, Joshua Hart. Now, 2 cars that have survived, Ryan Lang and Adam Yoslin. Their points battle, well, it ain't over just yet tonight. Green flag is out, and they started 1-2 in front of each other.
The spacing between Kyle Allman and Joshua Hart was just so big that And they kind of split up, but someone that I'm very
3 wide.
interesting. Someone that's interesting is to me is that number 21 of Dan Butler. He's been on. He has not pitted at all during this whole race.
Yeah, and he just got wrecked, and he stays out still. That is interesting strategy.
Interesting to me. Right now, everyone's kind of single file now. That big pack we had.
Unfortunately, most of those cars are in the garage. But look at that battle for the lead, though. You mentioned not a big pack. Still exciting action if you look for it. Luckily, this one's right up front, so it's not hard to find. Side by side for the lead. Here they go.
Entry. Joshua Hart did a beautiful entry getting in there. This doesn't have the momentum to keep that car going, as Kyle Altman still is in the lead, but don't be surprised that you see these two guys really battling it until that checkered flag. And hey, maybe even after that checkered flag, they'll still be racing because they don't know when the checkered flag's out. They just want to keep going because right now those two are pretty much just pushing each other to the max.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting fact. Adam Yoslin just ran the fastest lap of the race. Only a few, actually, yeah, just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 22.987. He's sitting third right now, so maybe we see a three-way battle for the lead in a few minutes. Certainly got enough time in the race to see it become a thing.
Now we got 20 laps to go. The big question is everyone on the track besides Dan Butler has new tires. So it's not going to be a battle of tire wear. It's going to be a battle of tire aggressiveness. Are you going to really beat your tires? Let's look at Joshua Hart right there. That 95 going right in there. Oh, so tight with Colin right there. Just. Oh,
that was very close. I thought we were going to see a wreck there.
You know, we see a lot bit of the pinching when you go to a super speedway like Daytona or Talladega, where you can kind of see like the pinching happens. Right now, you see it at Iowa. I don't think I've ever seen pinching at Iowa.
Yeah, that is true, but hey, it's here. It's here and it's happening. Adam Yoslin, you know, I mentioned him a few seconds ago being close to the front of the field. Well, he's moving up, you notice.
Right now, he was a fast car on track, too, so he is most definitely getting up there, really kind of showing that, don't forget about me, we're still here, and we're going to go around and give you guys a show.
And he's definitely trying his best. He's actually within 0.3 seconds of second place.
Look at second place. Look at Colin Allman in that number 67. I don't think I've ever seen that car fall off pace. Right now, the leaders are doing 0.1s, 0.0s, and he's doing a 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah, he's starting to fall back just a little bit.
I don't think I've ever seen that car fall off pace.
Well, we're seeing it. Maybe he's not falling off pace. Maybe Joshua Hart's just picking up the pace. Now, that could be too.
But look who's on the back door of Colin Allman is Adam Joslin right there in that 83. As he's pretty much right there knocking on the door saying, hey, guess who's here?
Well, Adam wants to extend that points lead.
Beautiful middle to exit for Adam. You know, he kind of breaks a little bit sooner than Colin, and he just gets that beautiful run in. So he's pretty much right there on the bumper. The biggest thing is setting the car up to make that pass, because you don't want to spend too much time side by side. You go. There's a battle for the second place.
I think he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna get it right here. Thought he was gonna get it. Didn't quite get it.
No, we definitely saw Joshua Hart that it did take 1 or 2 times to make that car work on that bottom lane. So you wonder if they just gotta maybe build up a little bit of track temp on that low lane to get it to work. So, but it definitely take Joshua Hart a few times to get by.
Yeah, that could be. Of course, Adam could always employ the use of the bump and run technique, which, for those of you who do not watch racing that much or just may not know the term, basically give the guy a shove going into the corner and it'll move him up into the next lane.
10 laps to go.
If you do it right, you'll move the guy properly. If you do it wrong, you're just going to slow both of the cars down and you may just wreck yourself. Hey, I tell it like it is.
9 laps to go. And right now, Joshua Hart is liking this. He's
checking out.
He's liking this. We got the battle for second right now between Colin Allman and Adam. But if you look back a little bit more, there's a little bit of a battle for, that's P3.
P4.
P4. Between Ryan and AJ.
Moving back to that battle with Adam, they're side by side on the stripe. I really feel like the only way Adam's actually going to make this pass is if he tries to move Colin. Now, the thing he's got to do with that, he's got to be careful about where, if he does try to do that, where he wants to hit him. You know, you got to do it kind of going into the corner, I feel like. Because if you do it in the middle of the corner, it kind of just slows both of the cars down from what I've noticed, you know?
Well, the big thing is you got to kind of set up your pass. You know, you hear that term a lot while dirt racing, trying to set up your pass. But right now, Adam is just trying to figure out where is he faster, where am I faster, where can I meet in the middle, and what's better.
Hate to say it, I think we've reached the point in the race where there's not going to be a battle for the lead. Because Joshua Hart's opened up almost 2 seconds with 6 laps to go, excuse me. I don't think this track is long enough. You know?
It's definitely going to be interesting. The big question is, keep hitting your marks, don't burn your tire, and don't hit that wall. I think that's the big fact that the crew chiefs are telling all these guys is, don't hit the wall.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic to your night, especially at this point.
Because right now, Adam in that 83 is getting a little loose on the exit of 4, getting right to that wall, getting so close to that wall. I don't think he's touched it yet, but he has gotten very close to it.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't touch it. And again, we're with 3 laps to go. This is just going to come down to who wants that second place spot. And if Adam wants it, I tell you, he's going to have to bump him. Because I don't see it. We've seen it. He gets alongside him. He just doesn't got the speed. You know what I'm saying?
The big thing is that he's just trying to make... Adam is trying everything he can in his power within the last 2 laps to get that pass. The big thing is hopefully I did not destroy my tires.
And just 2 laps to go. Coming to that final lap, it's going to be the question, will Adam do it, and will he get past Colin? He's going to try right here. This is going to be one of his last chances, I think, right here.
He's right there. Going into turn 3 is going to be the last opportunity he'll have. Goes in.
Not going to do it.
He gets the run, but that Highland been so dominant just does not make it happen.
That sells it. Joshua Hart second, or Joshua Hart wins. Colin Allman second.
With Adam and Ryan in 3rd and 4th, good night for those. Great night for Ryan in at number 31.
Oh, yeah.
Qualified 17th and finished 4th.
It's a good night,
That's a great night.
But there is one small unfortunate part about it. You know what that is?
What is that?
Well, he doesn't have the points lead still.
Yeah,
He came
that's
in
just-
right behind him, but it's not close enough. I hate to say that, but good night for Joshua Hart. He gets to burn it down, and well, he's in TeamSpeak right here, so I'll let you do our race winner interview.
Joshua Hart, you got a copy, bud.
I got you.
Go around, qualified 16th. You got to go through this crazy field within the first 50 laps, and then you come home with the win. How do you get the car to set up to A, drive in the pack, and B, get it to go around, and once you get out there, just use the clean air? As the as his radio transmitter fell apart.
Yeah, something
and is,
died.
broken. So
I guess we'll move on to second place. I'll let you talk to second since well, that interview didn't really happen.
all right, Colin, you come home second. You know, you were so fast all throughout the previous weeks. You come home second tonight. How does that show that how do you feel about that finish?
Honestly, I feel pretty good about it because I've never ran Iowa in a super, and I was guessing going into this race on what the car would do on a longer run, and it was just way too tight tonight. I thought it started off tight and hoping it would loosen up, but it never did. It stayed tight all night, and I was every caution, every time we pitted, I was loosening it up, and it just wasn't enough to keep up with Josh.
Now you will see the EOL penalty at the very beginning of this race. You had to start in the back. How scary was it driving through the field?
It was pretty hectic, man. It was a lot of fun though. It was it's a lot of fun racing this track. Honestly, it's a little too big for the supers, but it's still a blast, and I enjoy racing here.
Well, you come home with second. Last week you had the past like 4 weeks you had great finishes. Now, go to next week. Is the strategy the same? Is it get great finishes, continue getting strong places, and by the end, at the end of the season, you'll be there to do a battle for the championship?
Yeah, hopefully next week we can get a win. We got 3 seconds in a row or something like that. It's tired of getting a second. hopefully I'll be able to have something for the guys that run up front next week and the weeks after that.
Well, we would like to congratulate you on that, and hopefully you do get that. Your pace is so on par at the beginning and all throughout the whole race. You know, your pace is all right there. You just gotta get that car to victory lane soon.
Oh yeah, just gotta find a little bit more. I usually I got notes on every track that we've ran, but Iowa I've never ran before in a super, so we'll take notes on it, and when we come back next season, we'll be better.
Well, congratulations on that second place, and now time to go celebrate it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Down here in Victory Lane with Joshua Hart, your transmitter cut out earlier. Tell us about how that feels to win here.
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. Feels great. Had a few pit stops where I missed my stall. I missed it twice, and I had to go back through the field 2 times, and was just able to do it and loosened up the car each time. But it was fun going up through the field. Big track to race on. I like it.
Now, when we started this race, did you think you'd find yourself in Victory Lane tonight?
I knew I had a good setup because I ran this race here with another league a few weeks ago, so I just used the same one and adjusted on it, and I didn't think I would get through the field that fast, but it just all came to me.
All right, what was the hardest part about this race tonight? Because we kind of saw your car a little bit up front sometimes, a little bit towards the middle. What do you think the hardest part about this race was for you?
Pitting. I suck at pitting, so that's the hardest part to me. And other than that, on the racetrack, just the exit of 4, the car was really tight. But I knew if we had a long run, it would have came in. But it was good. Just can't thank everybody that helps me out with setups.
All right, thank you for talking to us. Any sponsors you want to thank, that kind of thing?
Nah, I don't have any sponsors. Just if y'all check me out on Facebook, Joshua. Let's see, Facebook.com/JHartRacing, and I'll be racing this weekend at New Smyrna. So check it out. I'll put up some live videos.
All right, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
And finally, the interview with third place Adam Yoselin.
Adam, you come home, you qualified third, you finished third. You had an up and down night the whole time. How does it feel coming home in that third place finish?
Well, it's a lot better than last week. I thought we had a great car last week and got destroyed on the backstretch, but I built this set a while ago, and I started up front, and I didn't know how I was going to do, so I decided to drop to the back there, mid-pack, run see how it was, and about 20 laps to go, they had that big wreck, and behind me, I thought it was going to clip me, but they missed. But we only ran about a lap on our tires, but we ran like 4 laps under caution, was heating them up, so I came down, got some cooler tires, and drove up to third, and passing Colin to the task. It's trying, but I didn't want to wreck him.
Now, you go around and you had a crazy season so far, but great finishes. Now, does this really motivate you to go out and get those better finishes, or do you kind of look at it saying, okay, we know what we can do, and we can keep getting them? Consistent finishes are what we want.
Yeah, consistency is key. Not gonna go anywhere unless you get some consistency and learn. Wrecking and finishing in the back happens once in a while, but you don't learn anything from it. So, yeah, we'll continue to plug away at it and get better each week.
Now, before we let you go, who helps you get that car motivated, especially throughout these few weeks? A few weeks ago, you kind of rode the wall, and next you had the great finishes. Now, who helps you go around and keep those cars going each week?
This week I have to say it was Jimmy Babs who actually was in this race. He didn't get a good finish, but we had a gear in the car and we were talking, and he said, "Oh, I have this gear," and I said, "I got this," and he said, "You need to change that." So I changed it, got up on the chip a little more, and the car was quicker. So Jimmy Babs, thank you.
All right, well, good luck to you in maybe in this final few weeks of racing here, and hope you're going to get that championship.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll see you tomorrow night from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway International Sim Drivers Club Indy 500. We'll see you then.